Howdy, Immortalium here, and welcome to my very first chapter review, Hunter x Hunter, chapter 341. It still amazes me sometimes that I've read 341 chapters of Hunter x Hunter. That's just mind-blowing to me, kind of. But anyway, my opinions on this chapter. Well, first of all, let me kind of give you the quick summary. I think that's how these chapter reviews kind of go. We are introduced to these two executives, I guess you can say. They're dealing with, the potential exploration of the Dark Continent. And they kind of show this kind of new guy all the stuff that's come back from the Dark Continent and what has happened to the people that have gone trying to explore the Dark Continent. And there's a great two-page spread. And I remember I just paused at, it was just showing, like what happened to the people, and it was just so messed up. I just stared at that for like longer than I usually do at a double-page spread. And at about the same time, the Zodiacs, they finally started watching that DVD that Netero left behind, in which Netero does confirm that Beyond is his son. I was kind of wondering, maybe Beyond isn't really his son. Maybe Netero would be more vague, and there'd be this whole thing. Maybe another son would show up at some point. But no, he called him by name, Beyond. So I'm very sure that Beyond is Netero's son. And it was talking about how he wants to beat Netero, Beyond, like in his exploration of the Dark Continent, and the Zodiacs are not entirely sure whether or not they should follow that. Why should they oppose someone else who wants to explore the Dark Continent? So they're kind of confused right now. But then, ending on a cliffhanger, Beyond showing up and telling the Zodiacs to tell, the other nations that they've arrested Beyond. So, that was, I was just going, oh my god. Well, I guess that wasn't the cliffhanger. The very last scene being, that young executive finding out the 5 things that they've brought back from the Dark Continent, these really weird, horrific things. But still, I consider the Beyond capture to be the cliffhanger. So, wow, it's a very good chapter. I enjoyed it a lot. The one thing that does niggle me, I'm sure it's been mentioned in these other chapter reviews, is that we did not get to see Gon, or Leorio, or Kurapika, or Killua. I would have liked to see those main characters, basically the only characters that we've seen before is Beyond and the Zodiacs in this chapter. Everything else is kind of new. So I would have liked to see, what's happened to them. However, in the manga, I do remember there were various chapters where we wouldn't get to see any of the main characters. But because of the fact it was always in a volume, it didn't feel like we were missing them too long. Overall, it's a very good chapter. It moved the story on a good bit. There was a few twists and turns. There was a few surprises. I keep thinking of that double-page spread. Speaking of which, I want to talk about the artwork for this chapter. And that is, it is great. This is some of the best-looking Hunter x Hunter I've seen for a while now. I remember when I decided I'd subscribe to Weekly Shonen Jump and, read the chapters that came out, I was hearing all these horror stories, of Hunter x Hunter chapter art, and how, it only looks good when it's brought to the volume. So I was kind of thinking to myself, oh my god, is it going to be like scribbles and really bad looking? But no, this chapter looked really beautiful. There was a great level of detail. There was no malforming of, body parts. And there was some great panel work as well. So I was very impressed artistically of this chapter, and hopefully Yoshihiro can keep up the quality. The last thing I want to bring up, though, Viz, really, you have just brought back Hunter x Hunter, and Toriko gets the cover page for Weekly Shonen Jump, with Hunter x Hunter relegated to a little tiny part of the cover. I mean, nothing wrong with Toriko. I've read the first chapter recently, and I enjoyed Toriko. I thought it was very good. I thought it was quite impressive, and I do intend someday to actually continue on with it. But Hunter x Hunter is a bigger deal than whatever Toriko was going to do this week, I'd say. So, Viz, I'm really surprised that you put Toriko as the main cover to the magazine. So I found that very annoying. But overall, I was very pleased with the chapter for Hunter x Hunter. It's a good start, so I'm very much looking forward to what Yoshihiro is going to give us next week. So hopefully you enjoyed this chapter review. As I said before, this was my first chapter review, and I don't watch many of them because of the fact they're all spoilers, really. So I don't really know how they're meant to go. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and bye-bye.